Hi, welcome to ThreatTraq Essentials. I'm here with Mike Klepper. How you doing, Mike?
Doing well. How are you?
Great. Let's talk about the stories we covered this week. Matt told us about a really interesting story about, we know criminals often use encrypted chat apps to communicate with one another. And this was a case where they were using an app that they really didn't realize it was developed by law enforcement.
Yeah, just like any organization, criminal groups have operational security concerns because they don't want to get caught. And they're always looking for ways to conceal their communications from law enforcement. And in this case, the FBI was able to pull one over on them with assistance from, really a multinational conglomeration of law enforcement officers.
And tell me about how they did that.
Well, they actually took advantage of a confidential human source who had been involved in some prior encrypted applications that were used for nefarious purposes, and acquired a product that individual was putting together, and went about introducing that to the criminal underground, starting in about October of 2018, and then just sat back and were able to watch unencrypted communications because they had a key to those communications, and collect evidence for the last couple of years, and they've started to take actions on targets at this point.
Wow. So very interesting story of a way of outsmarting the bad guys for a change.
Yeah, it's always a running shell game, right? We get better, then they get better. It forces us to get better. It's a never-ending cycle.
So some more good news. You brought us a story about a ransomware gang that turned over their encryption keys. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Avedon gang has apparently shut down operations, at least for the time being, in this particular campaign, and released about 3,000 keys, a little under 3,000 encryption keys to Bleeping Computer. So there has been a decryptor made available for free so that people who were impacted by this ransomware can now retrieve their files.
That's very interesting. Has that ever happened before? Is that unusual?
It certainly doesn't happen as often as we'd like, but it has happened a number of times in the past where cyber gangs have ceased operations and released keys for whatever reason. Those reasons are never really known to us, but at the end of the day, we have the keys, and people can, hopefully get some of the things back that they lost.
And finally, you brought us a story about a password list that was released.
Yeah, so the RockU 2021.txt file, which has gotten some press recently, it's not really a password list. It's really a dictionary word list. There is some known passwords that have been part of previous password breaches over the last 10 or 11 years or so that are part of it. But the vast majority of the content in that file really has nothing to do with passwords. They're not associated with usernames or anything along those lines, and it's not the result of any kind of new data breach or anything like that. It's literally just a giant list of words that are less than or equal to 20 characters that can be used potentially for brute forcing or other password cracking types of operations.
Okay, well, very interesting. Thanks for all that great insight, Mike. And all of you watching can keep up with great insights like this every week by liking and subscribing below. And you can always click on any of these stories if you want to explore them further. We'll see you next time.